Hey, everybody. Podcast coming up in just a second, but a little bit of housekeeping up front. If you like seeing Daniel's and my faces, get ready because after this week, we're going to start doing some more video podcasts from our respective homes. We won't be together, but you'll be able to see each of us and get a little peek inside of where we live. If that's, I don't know, your thing, maybe one of our feet will accidentally be in the shot. I don't know. I don't want to get your hopes up. But anyway, there's going to be video. We're also going to have some bonus content coming up more often. Bi-weekly, we're going to be doing a little bit of bonus content where we'll do an extra little something for you all. You can find that on Patreon. You can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All the video content that we're going to be doing, you can find it across your platforms. But if you're using Apple Podcasts, it's going to be audio only. For obvious reasons, you don't watch any videos on Apple Podcasts. If you're dying to see our faces, though, we're opening this up to you. You can see the ravages of time. You can see entropy at work on Daniel and I, if that's a thing you're interested in. And I guess I'm promising at this point, one of my feet will be in a shot. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? What did I do? Where did all go? Why do we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Bowie, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.
So, hello again and welcome to another episode of Quick Question with Soren and Daniel, the podcast where two best friends and comedy writers ask each other questions and give each other answers. I am one half of that podcast, author of How to Fight Presidents, senior writer for Last Week Tonight, and poor planner Daniel O'Brien, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Soren Bowie. Soren, say hello.
Hey, everybody. I'm Soren Bowie. I'm a writer for American Dad. Probably. I mean, we're on hiatus right now, so this show has to get picked up again. Otherwise, there'll be a new intro to the show from now on. Speaking of poor planning, I don't have a fallback if this job doesn't continue. Thanks to Rocket Money for supporting Quick Question. Rocket Money will quickly and easily identify your subscriptions for you so you can stop paying for the ones you don't want. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/QQ. Why are you poor planner, Daniel?
Because, Soren, I had this whole... We haven't... So, for our listeners, we took about 2 weeks off for scheduling stuff and spring break stuff and some health stuff. And I had this whole idea. I really wanted to surprise the most important person in my life, Soren.
Yeah.
With a big striking piece of news. And I wanted to do it in like a big grand way on the podcast and have like a live reaction from Soren as he learned this big surprise. But I couldn't get my act together in time, so I just had to text him very anticlimactically that I got engaged or whatever. And it was gonna be it was gonna be a huge moment for the podcast. Just picture me. Let me just say how I would do it. Okay, Soren, okay. Here's how I was gonna do it.
Hold on. Should we just should we do it?
So hello, welcome to another. So here's how I was gonna do it. I was like, oh, Soren, how's your week been? I did a pretty fun thing. I went to go to
oh really? What'd you do?
I got to go to a Broadway premiere with my ex-girlfriend, and Jeremy Strong was in it, and Michael Imperioli, and we were in the second row.
On. Did something happen? Did you break up?
I'm still not used to saying fiance.
Oh, my little box that tells me when I'm recording just went bright red.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I didn't like that scream.
Can I ask you, did you Well, we have a couple of questions about this, but first, quick question: if you didn't know that I had gotten engaged and that's how I told you, would you have liked that the little play of ex-girlfriend? I'm still getting used to saying fiance.
You know, I would love that. You know that when I had my daughter and we got on the podcast and you knew my wife was pregnant and ready to have a kid at any time, I said my wife is no longer pregnant.
That's oh, Soren, you know who hasn't liked that joke?
Everybody else?
Every single other person.
Do they, because you run over, you're going like 40 miles an hour when you get to ex-girlfriend. Do other people make you stop or do they just let you continue?
They let me continue. And like
talk about Richard Kind for 45 minutes.
The joke relies on them stopping me and asking what happened. Because otherwise I just continue talking about my life.
But neither one of you is really paying attention because you don't have actually anything to say. That's too bad.
Mentioning it, trying to do the same drive-by move in the work Slack, and no one saying anything or responding, and I could just like from hundreds of miles away, I could hear them privately slacking each other. Did something happen? What? It doesn't. They look like they're happy on Instagram. What the fuck is going on? What should we say? Should we ask? Nah, he's a private guy. Don't bring it up.
Now, here's my first question is, obviously you're entitled to tell whoever you like, whenever you like. How many
you cut out at what feels like a very crucial moment. I heard obviously.
Sorry. Well, okay. Obviously, you can tell whoever you like, whenever you like, but you tell me in terms of like the people in your life. When did I find out in relationship to everybody else?
You are pretty close to last. Like,
yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Of the important people in my life, you're dead last. Of random people I've come across in my life, you're still pretty close to the bottom.
That's how it always ends up working. Is like you've got somebody specifically that you want to tell, and then all of a sudden, like shit just gets in the way, and you're like, uh-oh. At this point, it's awkward. Yeah. Should I just never tell them?
Right. It was. Because we got engaged on a Friday, and we were the plan was to record the podcast like the following Monday or Tuesday,
right? And
neither of us are on. I'm telling my family, obviously. Neither of us are on Twitter anymore. I know for a fact that you observe Instagram from time to time, but I don't know. You're not like an active participant in it. You don't like post anything. You just have it to occasionally lurk. So I thought we can post this to Instagram, and that still buys me a couple of days of cover. So we did do like an official Instagram thing, and I thought there's a chance that he will not see this for days. And if we're recording the podcast on Monday or Tuesday, then that's like perfectly within the window of secrecy. And I told Gabe and the other fellow who works on this podcast with us, was like, hey, just a heads up, I know you guys are on Instagram. I haven't told Soren yet, so don't mention it when we record. And they were like, got it. And then the day of the record came around, and I was so sick that I was like, we can't do it today. We have to push to tomorrow. And even like going from Tuesday to Wednesday to record would have been fine within my window. But then you couldn't record on Wednesday, and we had to push a full week. And then it was like, oh, I don't know.
Things are getting weird.
The balloons are in the car.
That's so exciting. And for people who are listening and they're like, man, Soren doesn't sound very excited for Dan. I got very excited for him when I found out. I was in my hometown, in my home garage that I grew up in, jumping up and down. And for a lot of reasons, I was very excited for you. And then this sort of evolution happened in my excitement that became very excited for me. Right. That I get to go to a wedding. Like it's going to be a fun wedding, and I get to go to it.
You can. We checked with the venue. We're on the ground floor, so you can jump. There's no. Yes. It's fair game for anyone to jump if they want to. So you should be. That's generally the only thing you care about.
Yeah, so that's why I said that I was in my hometown. Like I was in the garage. Garage is the only place I'm allowed to jump.
I know.
Okay. So yes, I'm very excited, Daniel. I there's a lot I have to do in between now and then. I have to get ordained, obviously.
No.
I got to come up with a playlist. I got to learn how to bake a cake.
Okay.
I got to I got to come up with I need a walkie-talkie obviously for the event on the day so that I can get everybody in their places and everything.
That seems like the easiest thing to accomplish.
The walkie-talkie.
Who is on the other side of the walkie-talkie?
Oh, I got to find somebody for the other side of the walkie-talkie.
It's a fun, really sad, single panel comic of a kid trying to buy a single walkie-talkie.
There's a little Charlie Brown.
The clerk being like, they don't come as one.
Oh, I won't.
Why
need
would
another,
they? But yeah, informing you was the worst of all worlds, because if I'd known that I would have to wait a week and a half and not surprise you on the podcast, then I would have told you within 24 hours of the news, and then I didn't. And then as it got closer to this record, I thought, oh, there's a chance Save the Dates will go out, and it's probably better if he hears it from me first than a Save the Date. So I just had to very boringly and dryly text you hey, just trying to get ahead of the news cycle here, buddy. Just trying to cross some T's.
It's like an ex-girlfriend finding out. Yeah. I just don't want I don't want you to hear it from anybody else. Yeah. I'm getting married. Okay.
Did you? Can I ask now, because you can confirm that you have access to look at Instagram.
I do.
Did you know? Did you see our reel, or did one of our former coworkers mention something to you? Or maybe even one of your current coworkers who also follows me on Instagram and be like, hey, pass along my congrats to Daniel. Did you know
I didn't
at
even
all until I told you?
I didn't even have an inkling from the trip that you were doing. I didn't even get the sense. No, I was completely blindsided by it. I didn't even get the feeling that he's going on a trip with her. I wonder if this is going to be it. I had nothing. And everybody was... Boy, this was better than a M. Night Shyamalan movie where everyone was just no, he should experience it for himself, because I didn't get anybody telling me what spoiling it for me.
That's good. I'm glad that there's some decorum amongst audiences still.
I have a bunch of questions for you.
Okay. Fortunately, that's all the time we have.
Oh.
Show us quick question, but you knew that already. I actually can't even do this bit without the stuff in front of me.
So, first of all, I saw what picture you sent me, a picture of her with the ring on. It seems to be sort of. I want you to describe the ring to me. It's
what do you mean?
Okay, so it seems I get the sense that it's sort of a double ring, it has two pieces that go around. Is that right?
Yes and no. In the picture you saw, it looks like there are two rings that go around. It's because this is a family heirloom ring. It was her grandmother's ring. And the two parts that you're seeing are the ring and the band, which fit together.
Okay, cool.
And I think it's very cool. We're not sure exactly the plan if she'll wear both of those all the time, because it does, to the untrained eye, certainly look like a wedding band and an engagement ring together.
Do they unlock from one another? You could wear them independently?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And does it have a diamond on it?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have any sense of what cut and clarity and stuff of that diamond, or is it part of the heirloom?
It's part of the heirloom.
Okay. That clears up a lot of other questions I had, which was, did you have to learn all that shit? Did you have to learn SS1 and stuff, all these designations for different cuts and clarity and everything of a diamond?
No, I did not. I did have to, because I knew the ring was going to be an heirloom ring. I also wanted to just separately get some nice earrings for her. Mm-hmm. So I went to a fancy jewelry store and got earrings and learned a little bit about carats and got a certificate that explains the provenance of the diamonds in the earring, and the carat and all that kind of stuff. Right?
They're dripping blood.
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
I was show me a picture of the house where people used to live before it was torn down for this. No, it was lab grown or factory made, not factory made, lab designed.
Petri dish, yeah.
But all that stuff, when the person at the jewelry store is holding up this card that has the information. Is like, this is important. You need this forever. And I was like, oh no, I'm not used to owning things that need a separate thing to prove what they are.
Yeah, that's, I mean, when we recently got a safe and I emptied out my safety deposit box that was at the bank, and like going through all that stuff, I was like, oh yeah, here's all the old ring shit. Like, here's like that stuff that I have to keep for as long as she owns that ring. And it's, the way that I got mine was I went through, so it was actually a college friend who had started doing like heirloom jewelry, but it wasn't from my family. So I had to learn all of these things that it was like cramming for a test. Like, you know it all so well, backwards and forwards, for 3 weeks of your life, and then you never know any of it again.
Yeah. Just like a driver's test.
Just like a driver's test. Dan, I'm so excited for you. I'm really excited that you got to do this as an heirloom. That's like, this is like a family ring. Yeah. Because the ring is such a nightmare otherwise. Did it fit her already, or did you have to figure out how to get it set?
We're gonna get it fitted. We need to get it reset. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man.
It is very exciting. It was certainly not that I would have shirked from the challenge of learning about rings and picking one out for her. It was a nice, like, a real relief to know this was the ring that she wanted, and it was a simple a matter of asking her mother if I could have the ring. Right. And once that was taken care of, and as I was asking her wonderful mother, I was like, I know this ring is also important to you, but you know it's the one that she has her eye on. If you don't want to part with it, that's completely fine. I have another plan. And it was really great that she parted with it, because I did not have another plan. You know how you lie to your in-laws immediately? That's how I started, very confidently saying, I have another plan. Don't worry about this. This is totally fine.
Did you ask their permission?
I did, yeah.
I did too.
I told the order
how did you
of
feel
events,
about that?
I felt great about it. The order of events was, I hung out with my parents for dinner, and I told them, hey, I'm going away to Florida next week, and I'm going to ask my fiance's parents for permission and for the ring. And I just wanted to let you guys know, you're the first to know that this is going to happen, that things are moving. And I felt very confident and very comfortable. And then I talked to her parents, and I asked their permission, and they said yes, which was the answer I was hoping for. Yeah. And yes to the ring also. And I felt very confident and very comfortable. And then, like, because this was, you know about engagements. It's not like the movies where it's a complete surprise. I'm not gonna blindside her or anything like that. We were on this path, so it's not like I thought there was a chance that she would say no. So I was like comfortable and confident this entire time. But then once all of the stop and slow down signs were gone, once there was like no more doors to unlock, approval from my parents, approval from her parents, I was suddenly very nervous. Because then it was just like, well, now it's just on you, kiddo. Now you just have to like decide when you're gonna do this, and there's really nothing stopping you at any moment. And that was like I was surprised by the level of nerves that I had.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so we're at the fun part here. I want to hear how it happened. Are you willing to divulge that on this podcast to all 14
Not
of our
really,
listeners?
No. I mean, here are the three things that I'll say about it is just knowing that I was like, I was very ready when I asked. I just like felt like truly in the moment, this is the right time I want to do this. There was the nerves aspect of it, where it was like there was a full day where her parents knew, and I knew that her parents knew, and she was the only one who didn't know. And just the stress that I was going to say something, I was going to slip or say the wrong thing, and that like a surprise would get blown in some sort of way, was like really making me, I think, less pleasant to be around. Yeah. Where I thought like, I don't think I can take another day of the stress of managing a secret from my at the time girlfriend, now fiance. I like that was weighing on me more than anything else. It was just like I don't like having a thing that she doesn't know that I know that a lot of other people know now. So I wanted to like get that feeling out of me. And also this was our second day of a 4-day trip visiting her family. And I thought I wanted to do it really soon because like I was just tired of not being engaged to her. And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm going to wake up tomorrow and still not be engaged. And then what if I propose tomorrow, then I only have like 2 nights of being engaged in Florida instead of the 3 nights engaged in Florida. You know, it's just like there was just like everything inside me was like do this now, get this, do this. So you can like, I want to be engaged as soon as possible. Once the speed bumps were out of the way and permission had been granted, it was just like, well, let's just be engaged now, please.
That's great.
Thanks.
Did you get down on one knee?
I did.
And did she see it coming?
A little bit. I mean, I think once I started my little prepared
Preamble
speech.
Yeah.
Like I could really tell like, oh, she's really listening right now. So she knows that there's no way that this speech ends with me saying, and that's why I really, really like you. Okay, good night.
Did you write anything
That's why
down?
we make such a good team.
When we used to do, okay, so I know that when you used to do stand-up, you wrote out everything. You wrote out size, you wrote out stumbles, you wrote out everything that you were going to do on stage in your performance.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious, did you wing any of this or did you write this all out first? Memorize it?
I wrote an outline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Very nice.
Yeah. I felt good about that too. Because I also know that like if I had written a full script, first of all, that's insane. It was insane when I did it in stand-up to write all of the pauses and hold for applause moments. It was always an insane thing to do. And second of all, I thought I don't really need this completely scripted because I know what I feel and what I want to say. And another part of me, the worst, awful part of me is like, if I write this thing and she jumps in and interrupts or a phone rings, then
You get heckled?
I will turn into a grouchy, cranky monster and be like, never mind, forget it. Nope, I forgot what I was going to say.
We'll do it again tomorrow.
We'll try again tomorrow.
Yeah, that's... So I'm glad that you didn't, because also you want to be able to feel like you're in the moment too. Like you want to be saying things that you're feeling at that exact moment. I get that's all great. And it would have been crazy for you to have scripted the whole thing. I found out recently that I was still paying for CBS Sports as an app on my television. I don't even know if they show any content anymore because, Paramount Plus exists. But for whatever reason, I had CBS Sports that I was still paying for. And I can't even think of what they'd be showing, honestly. But I was paying for it. I found out that I still had it and got rid of that subscription. And it made me think, oh my God, there are probably 5 more of these hidden somewhere in my life, and I just don't remember them. Well, Rocket Money can help you identify those. Did you know that nearly 75% of people have subscriptions they've forgotten about? Between streaming services, fitness apps, and delivery services. Oh my God, delivery services. I didn't even think about that one. Oh, and doctors, like online doctors. As a parent, you just are panicked because your kid has an ear infection or something, and you just join one. I got to go back through my phone. It's never ending. Thanks to Rocket Money, I'm no longer wasting money on the ones I forgot about. I've been trying to save money for a while, but it seemed like my bank account was just stuck. Thankfully, I heard about Rocket Money and gave it a try, and it turns out I had a bunch of subscriptions I was paying for that I had forgotten about. Rocket Money helped me cancel some of them, and now I'm finally starting to see my account balance rocketing through the roof. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower bills so you can grow your savings. I can see all my subscriptions in one place when I am on Rocket Money, and I can see something. If I don't like it, I can just cancel it with a few taps. I'm not the one doing it. They're doing it for me. Rocket Money will even negotiate to lower your bills by up to 20%. All you have to do is submit a picture of your bill and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They'll deal with the customer service for you. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of 500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/QQ. That's rocketmoney.com/QQ. rocketmoney.com/QQ.
Here's a crazy thing I did do that I don't know if you did when you proposed to Colleen, is I did definitely Google which knee is the right knee to get down on for a proposal.
I didn't know there was one.
There barely is. The internet is like, there's not really a right way, but it's the same thing as like the sequel to the plural to cul-de-sac. There's not technically a correct way, but cul-de-sac is more correct than cul-de-sacs. And so there's not a right way to get down on a knee, but if you do want the right way, get down on your left knee.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's bad luck, right? It's like divorce in 10 years.
No, you just look like a fucking idiot.
Did people, were there people around you when it happened?
No. Her family, but not, we were in a private moment.
Okay. That's great.
But we could immediately then celebrate with her parents, which was nice.
Have you checked in with her at all about like any of the shit that you said and whether she actually was listening to any of it? Because my experience was neither one of you remembers a thing that happened in the moment.
Okay, that's great because I remember. So to answer that question, she did not remember, and I have in fact given a version of my speech 2 more times. I've now proposed 3 times just to remind and refresh, which is a lovely fun thing that we get to keep reliving. But while I remember the proposal, the rest of the night we immediately just started FaceTiming all of our family and everything like that, and that all went by so fast and was such a blur that I'm glad to hear that you also didn't remember everything, and that's a common thing, because it really, leading into it, I just think like we've talked about this. We know we're going to get engaged. We know we're going to get married someday. So it's just going to, things won't be different on one side of this question to the other side of the question. But they you go a little bit crazy. Your brain goes nuts, and you just get like just wedding madness for a second.
It's going to be the same thing on the day.
That's what I hear.
You will want to know each other's vows afterwards, because you will know, and also like the speeches from the other people, it'll be gone immediately. Like you'll laugh, like in the moment, you'll be very present for it. And then immediately afterwards, people are like, man, your best man's like speech was great. And you're going to be like, oh, I bet it was. I bet. I think I was laughing
Did you
a
film
lot.
it? Did you get it?
Yeah, it'll feel the exact same way.
It was really cute in like a fun, delirious moment immediately after proposing, and her saying yes, and her having the ring and having like tears in her eyes. She's going, but wait, did you say it? Did you ask? And I was like, yeah, babe, totally, 100% did. Did I ever say yes? Yeah, you did. That's
you both get,
that's why we're on the phone with my mom now.
You both get hit in the head. Like, can't remember anything that just happened. That's great, Daniel. I'm so excited. You did it right. I felt a little weird about asking her parents, because I wanted to also respect her autonomy, but tradition and autonomy at the same time, and it was tough.
Absolutely. Here's the crazy thing about tradition is that I do like it and respect it. If I had asked permission and her parents said, no, we don't think you're right, then it's war. Then I have to be like an asshole to this family and be like, well, joke's on you. I wasn't actually waiting for your permission. This was a formality. I love your daughter and she loves me, and like, peace, we're out of here.
Okay. We just got a whole table just freed up for us at the wedding. This is actually good news. We had a lot of people. So Colleen and I, when we first got engaged, we then sat in a hotel and we were like, okay, let's think of like the people that we need to invite. How many people? How big will our guest list be? We got to about 100, and then we were like, okay, now let's do our friends. Like, here are the people we have to invite, and then we were like, oh shit, this is big, and we started to feel very embittered that like, oh, why are we obligated to invite these people that we are barely civil with in our lives, who are like family, when who the people we really want at the wedding are these other people? And it's like, well, because you make even further enemies out of any like aunts and uncles or cousins and stuff that you don't invite. And so we were just like really sweating it. The minute we got engaged, we were like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
I think we're blessed a bit to be older at this point, where there is much less of the pressure of making sure you invite all of the people that you don't actually want at your wedding. Like if this were a decade and a half ago or so, and I was making a list of invites, I know there'd be people that my parents would be like, well, you need to invite this person, otherwise it will be difficult for me at work, because I see them every day.
Right.
But my parents have been retired for years now, so it's just like, invite the people that you want, that you spent time with, that you as we were stressing over this and talking about it while we were still in Florida, Shay's mom was just like, just think about who you actually want to see in the pictures, who you want to see at your wedding. If it's not someone that you would want to have a beer with in real life, don't invite them to the wedding. Like, that's going to be our guiding principle for this whole fun thing.
Can
I tell you no, go ahead.
I just wanted, I was going to say, as a suggestion, I mean, obviously take it or leave it. You get married, destination wedding, Culver City, California.
We actually checked, and there's nothing available.
Buddy, I got a great backyard.
No.
Very romantic. Partially secluded, I'll add.
Oh, partially. That's good.
Yeah.
I do want some freaks.
Yeah.
I do want some strangers.
Some good rubberneckers. And for the most part, very, very low volume leaf blowers around here. You're going to love it.
Here's some other proposal things that I found myself very surprised by.
Okay.
Because I got the earrings like a week before our trip, and because they were part of the whole engagement package, and I realized after coming home with the earrings just how I never walk around with secrets from her. Yeah. I'm not like running for fiance of the year or anything like that. I think it's just a symptom of the fact that as soon as I see her after we're apart for any amount of time, I tell her every thought in my head and every single thing that happened to me. So even like I was as soon as I saw her when I got back from the jewelry store, I wanted to tell her about this interaction. I started to say, the cashier from the jewelry store. And then I was like, wait, no, she can't know about the cashier from the jewelry store. Then she'll have follow-up questions. So I had to be like, the cashier from the other store saw that my last name was O'Brien and asked me if I had a great time yesterday, because yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And it made me realize, A, I tell her every single thing that happens in my day, and B, not everything that happens to me is interesting. I don't.
It's I mean, planning a whole proposal is honestly great practice for adultery.
Yeah,
you really learn how to like what secrets to keep and what to tell about your life, and like how to twist certain things so that they don't ever find out about what you're actually doing.
It's crazy having a box with jewelry in it that I have to put in one of our pieces of shared luggage that she is not allowed to get into, because there's nothing in our home that she's not allowed to get into. And even like when we're driving, I have my phone plugged into my car, and you can see the text messages that I get on the screen, and you could play them. And I had to like not feature that for the first time in our relationship, because what if my mom texts and says good luck with your proposal or something, and I just have to like suddenly be suspicious and sneaky in a way that is like really uncomfortable to be walking around?
I did it in Peru. And so I flew to another country and sat there for a long time beforehand thinking, do I bring this ring, the most expensive thing I've ever bought in my entire life? Do I bring it to another country? And even like being on the plane, they hand you those to another country. They give you those little slips and like, are you bringing more than this amount of money? Like valuables worth more than this amount of money on there. And I was like hiding my answers from Colleen, like we're kids taking a test, like with a shoulder in the way, like, and brought it with me. But like, yeah, the entire trip thinking like I planned so hard just around that ring because I was so scared of it. It felt like a hobbit. Like I sewed it into a handkerchief, kept the handkerchief in my pocket every single day, very conspicuously used it to blow my nose and stuff because I don't carry a handkerchief. And that's a real red flag.
Your character needed to justify why he had this new prop.
Yeah. So like I was chewing the scenery up, Dan. I was like doing a lot of prop work just to like make sure she saw me using that. And then, on the day, cut it out.
Yeah.
So I don't think she totally knew. One thing that I think would be very funny is if you sensed that Shay was like aware of what was happening, if you got that earring box and you conspicuously like put that places like in the luggage where it was like right on top or something like that, it would be so fun for her to find that, get very excited and open it and see earrings.
That would have been fun. I like that a lot. She would have been so mad.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to talk about why.
I don't know why that's always my impulse. Like I used to try and make you as angry as possible when I give you your birthday presents. And I just love somebody who gets very, very angry and has nowhere they can put it. And then you surprise them with like good news. But that anger still lives in them.
Right.
So they can't do anything with it. They're like legally not allowed to do anything with it anymore.
Right. You can't let the air out of the balloon. So now it's just sitting there.
Oh, well. Well, maybe next time I get married. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Here's some things that I'll tell you about this portion of marriage, because this is like pre-marriage, right? So like you've got
we're fully we hit the ground running immediately with wedding planning. We want a wedding as soon as possible, and so that's we had like maybe 24 full hours, maybe 12 hours of just like, hi fiance, isn't that fun that we're saying that now? And then immediately into like contacting venues and contacting photographers and all the many people that you need to contact for this very expensive party we're gonna have.
Have you yet slipped up in front of her and called her your girlfriend?
Not yet, no.
That fucked me up.
She has slipped up and at work and called me her husband.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice. You guys are in fast forward. That's great.
That's right.
So you guys are already finding the venues. Are you going to get a videographer? Or am I doing that too? God damn it.
No, you're not. You're off the hook for that.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. We are gonna. We've got a venue. We've got a bunch of our things lined up because I think we both are treating it like a marathon and a sprint, where you're just like go as fast as you can and put one foot in front of the other, because we want to. There are the aspects of planning a wedding that are more fun and emotional, but there isn't as much of a time crunch on them. Like when we're figuring out what we're gonna say and exact songs for exact moments, that kind of thing. We want to get to those parts and also breathe a little bit. So let's get everything booked that needs to get booked. So we've been just really pushing through on all that.
Are you gonna do dance lessons?
No. Do you really think she needs them?
We did it, and I'm actually glad we did it for our first song. Not because like there's nothing wrong with just like holding each other and sort of like swaying back and forth, but Colleen is a planner by nature, and I like to be presentational. So and both of us, it was like this like moment in our Venn diagram that was like, no, we both agree on this. This has to look good. And so we wanted to know that we were doing, we had the song picked, and then we brought the song to a dance instructor, teacher.
Sure.
And the teacher was like, okay, yeah, this is just a waltz. I'll teach you how to do like a box step or whatever. We're like, okay. And learned it and felt way more comfortable having done that. We would practice it in the cracked offices. When she'd come like late at night to collect me, we would do it in the cracked offices.
That's really sweet. Maybe we'll do something like that.
It
We'll
also
see.
is, sorry, I didn't even get to the part where I think it's so important. It's a super intimate thing that like just helps in the lead up to the wedding of like, it's this very sweet and separate thing from everything else. And it's only the two of you, and it's not logistical really. It's just like, this is just feeling the music. And it's like a fun thing to do where you have to carve this time out each week or whatever to do this thing with your significant other.
All right. That's pretty sweet. Maybe.
Is it going to be what season?
Fall.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
Colleen asked, when I told Colleen, she was very excited for you as well. When I told Colleen,
thank you, Colleen.
She was like, I hope it's not in the summer. It'll be so hot. And I was like, you are the last person who has to worry about that. Daniel will ensure that this is not a summer wedding. He would not let that happen. I promise you.
It's good to feel seen and understood. I wonder if you have this. So, because obviously our amazing engineer, producer, president of podcast operations, Gabe, knew that I got engaged. And as soon as we came on the pod today, he said, "You sound different. It sounds like there's something different in your voice." And like he knows, so he's playing it. I gotta say, it feels really good because when you're when you're half of the affianced couple, you get to walk around with a shining symbol that things are different.
Right. And
that's great. I don't want to take anything away from that. And I also don't want to walk around with a ring. But things are different for me too. And no one can tell. I got my taxes done last Monday, and they're like, marital status, you still single? And I was like, what are the options? I'm like, well, married, divorced, widowed. I'm like, oh, not engaged? No.
Oh.
I guess I'm still legally single for the government. Sucks.
Okay, next question.
I want to walk around with a shirt or a sign or something.
Yeah. That's me waiting at a bar when I'm showing my ID and hoping they see that it's my birthday. Just like begging that they see.
Oh yeah, IDs should also have your anniversary on them so I can get congratulated on that too.
Well, I'm so excited for you, Daniel. I'm so excited for all the things that are about to come with this as well.
Thank you. I am too. It's we're trying to be like funny and light on the podcast. I don't need to be too sweet about it or anything, but things are different. It's fun and sweet. I like walking around being engaged. It's cool.
Do you feel, maybe it's too early for this. Do you feel any difference in your relationship at all?
How do you mean?
What I'm driving at is Colleen and I, we met in college. So we knew each other a very long time. We'd been dating for like 10 or 11 years before we got engaged. And leading up to it, I was like, nah, not super excited. I was just, but not like dreading it either. I was just like, this is the next step. Like, this is just what we're committing. And people would always be like, are you excited? I'm like, I don't know. To be married? I guess so. And then when we got engaged, like this thing just clicked where I was like, we were a team. Like we were way in it just together. And I felt great. I felt great around her and with her. And even like
I
in
do
marriage,
feel that.
I felt that.
I feel all that. I wasn't sure what exactly you were getting at, but yes, it does certainly feel like there is a change that is simultaneously like an intimacy thing, but also like we are both working towards this shared future, this shared goal that we have, and we're because we're both very active planners in putting this wedding together. We're really like in the trenches of this together too, in a way that is very bonding. I can't imagine you were not active in your wedding planning. I know that like the pop culture stereotype is that guys do nothing. I don't know how true that is. Didn't seem like it was true for you. It's certainly not true for me. It's the two of us who are doing this thing together and reporting back to each other at the end of every day and checking in throughout the day.
Yeah.
And it is a real surprising bonding experience. It's you know, we're both also fielding questions from other people in our lives who are like, so what's next? What are you doing? Have you done this? Have you done that? And like, and we're you know, it's the two of us back to back fending off questions from people as we were trying to move this engine forward. And it feels very, very, very cool. It's even though we agree on a lot of things and we do everything together, we don't do relay races together. We don't like put together complex pieces of machinery or anything. Though the wedding planning is the first thing where it's like, all right, you have your job, I have my job. Let's do it. Let's get this together. Let's reteam. Oh, I'm slacking on this one thing. Can you pick up the slack here? And then I'll pick up the slack over here. Great. Break. And then you separate and you go and you do your things. Then you come back together at the end of the day and like regroup. It's really, really, I'm making it sound very unromantic, but it is, I swear.
Yeah, it's just experiencing a different aspect of the relationship that you didn't know existed yet. Like finding a new room where you're like, oh shit, we're also really good in this room together.
Yeah.
No, I know that. Yeah. By the way, that happens again with not to like fuck you up, but like that happens again with kids. Right.
I imagine because you're right about the new room. Cause for so long, it's like, I really like cooking with her and I really like going on vacation with her. And then suddenly it's like, oh, she's really good at talking to vendors too. Wow. I didn't know she had that. That's cool.
Yeah. They have like you find out that your significant other has a second gear and you're like, holy shit. Yeah. You kick ass.
So what's new with you, man?
Oh, nothing much. I have a gun now.
God almighty. What a fucking twist.
Yeah, I'm gun people. I like guns, and I have to like talk. I have to say things like, "Welcome
Get
to
down."
I have to say things like "Welcome to California," and "Land of the Unfree," and stuff like that.
Sure,
that's fun. Can you hear that dog barking?
I can, yeah. It was perfectly timed with you talking about your gun that just like created in my mind that you've moved to some compound somewhere. Good news, I got a gun and 6 dogs and
things are good, man.
We're off the grid.
I had some chickens. I don't know where those went. I got to build a coop or something. Yeah, I own a gun now. I had to do in the same way that like when you're shopping for a ring, I had to take a test that was making sure that I was capable of owning a firearm in California. And you have to study for this test. And it is very much like I'm just like learning all of this information at once about guns. Yeah. And I know everything about guns on the terminology. Those gun people love their fucking terminology, man. If you if you say the wrong name for a thing, they pounce. They love that shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was my dad's and then his dad's before him, that was sitting in our safe at home. And I happened to be going home and I was like, and my mom was like, I want to get rid of these things. And I was like, please don't get rid of this thing. It's a family heirloom. And so I brought it back with me.
Got it.
Yeah.
You said you didn't want it and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Do you like it at all?
Yeah. I mean, it's a new thing. And I'm
like, is it cool?
Of course. It's like Blood Meridian cool. It's like a Western gun. It's like it's a single 6 Ruger, which means that it's like it's got that like great like double click noise when you pull the handle of the trigger back. It's a revolver. Cool. It's everything about it's very cool. I mean, if when I was a child, this would have been my dream.
Yeah.
now that I'm an adult and understand the responsibility of owning a gun, I'm like, fuck. I will go. I bought a kit for online that I'm going to use to clean it and learn how to clean it and everything. And then I'm going to probably shoot it. Maybe I'll take Greg Burke. We'll go shoot it.
Sure.
And then, and then after that, it will just sit in a safe.
I think
forever.
Our mutual friend Greg Burke, who most people would recognize from thousands and thousands of comedy videos, both at Cracked and elsewhere, I think he would probably be curious why you've only seen him like twice in 5 years, and both times it would be to go shooting somewhere. Because he's not bringing that to the table.
No, it's always me. He's my shooting friend. I do message him a lot about going shooting. And then occasionally, Dan, for your benefit, I will be like, we should try this other range. Dan says there's one up in Sonoma. I can't find it on a map. Because for a long time, Dan's big plan was to conspire to get Greg Burke to go wine tasting with him.
Yeah. And people have often wondered, and he has wondered too, because I was just constantly inviting him up to wine country with me. And he was like, is the joke that you're in love with me and that you are hitting on me and want to take me to wine country to get me drunk? And it's like, buddy, no, it's not. I don't know what the joke is yet.
It's building. The joke, but it's funny so far.
I keep asking you to go to wine country with me and you don't want to go. That's all I need to like confidently tug at this thread and see where it goes.
Yeah, it was such a fun game when I realized what was going on that I immediately tried to get in it.
Yeah.
And I started to be very eager to go to wine country with you, which gave you an opportunity to express that no, it wasn't about like a group going. It was about you and Greg.
It added a fun layer from me asking Greg and you chiming in and saying you would drive, and then me, as cold as Greg was to me, I could then go to you and status shift and be like, no, it's just the two of us. And Greg's like, no, it's not the two of us.
Because you presenting it to Greg, it always had to be very airy and light and fun, like just like a casual thing.
Right.
But every time that I tried to join, it was like, no, this is important. This is an important trip that just Greg and I will be taking. Anyway,
memories.
I have a gun now. You have a fiance. We're all getting things. I think that'll do it for our podcast.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm so excited for you though, Daniel. Well,
Thank you. I'm excited.
I think that I expressed this, but just in case I didn't fully express it, I am so pumped. I'm so happy, not only that like you're getting married and that you are excited about this, but that you found this person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, and that Shay came into your life, and that you guys are so happy together. It makes me very, very happy because I've always wanted this for you. In a way that's not like in order to fit in with society, you have to be married or anything like that. I know that you are you'd be like a great husband, and I wanted this for you.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. There's nothing I could add on top of that.
All right.
That's very sweet.
This is a quick question. You already knew that. We are Daniel and Soren. You can follow us on Blue Sky now. Daniel might be back on Twitter, but if he's not, you can follow us both on Blue Sky. We're the only two there, so just go. You'll see our you'll see the things that we post. You can email us at QQ with sorenanddaniel@gmail.com. You can follow us on the podcast on Twitter at QQ_Soren and Dan. We also have an Instagram. It's QQ_with_Soren_and_Daniel. We have a producer, sound engineer, editor, president of podcast operations, or Popo, as we like to call him. That's Gabe Harder. You will not ever find him. We also have a Patreon, which is Patreon/Quick Question. The theme song, if you liked it, that's by Me Rex. They're a band out of England. And I shouldn't say that. I don't actually know if they're out of England. They're out of Great Britain. I'll just say that. Me Rex, they're a band. They're from Great Britain. Don't cut any of this game.
You don't need to put any extra information.
I need to know where they live. Their people are gonna want to know where they live. If you like their music, you can find it on Spotify, on iTunes, anywhere you listen to your music. Or you can go to mirex.bandcamp.com to download full albums. If you want to see video of Daniel and I doing podcasts, not this particular one, but others, you can find that at youtube.com/@QQpodcast. I'm also going to be on Creature Feature coming up really soon. Creature Feature is our friend Katie Golden's podcast, and we're going to be talking about aerial plankton. So if that excites you.
That's pretty cool. I was on 2 recent episodes of the 1-900 Hot Dog podcast with Sean Baby and Robert Brockway talking about the movie yesterday. And then for their Patreon subscribers, we have a bonus mini episode that goes so bonkers off the walls. It's really fun.
Great. Yeah, listen to that. Listen to our friends.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the guys know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Bowie, Daniel O'Brien, 2 best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.